Hi,
All right, you're all ready for the main event today? We got a few people to spotlight. We're gonna get them in just a moment. Firstly, we get to hear this is all about rookies. So we get a panel discussion with Jennifer and Kendall. So Jennifer named Rookie of the Year, co-Rookie of the Year, promoted to GA. And convention qualifier, we pulled the convention stats from this last year. Here's one of the things to look at. Personal recruiting credit. So qualified helped out with personal recruiting credit. That means sharing the opportunity with people. When you share the opportunity with somebody, a family member, a friend, a client, somebody present you, anybody that you run into, and they start in the business, all that production counts to qualifying for convention. Jennifer also #2 referral collector with 1,426 referrals. You got to think about this. When we talk about refreshing your impact, Jennifer has given herself almost 120 leads every single month, extra every single month with the referrals collected. Collects over 4 referrals per presentation. Awesome job, Jennifer. That made her Rookie of the Year. Together, co-Rookie of the Year with Mr. Kendall Goslee. Promoted, this is says supervising agent, but has since been promoted to general agent. Both have been moved over to GA. Convention qualifier. And just 11 months has qualified for convention, has a very high closing rate, 49% closing. And look at this, 79% of the sales came from referrals. All successful people do certain similar things. So referral closing, 73%. So we are going to bring all of you up, Kendall and Jennifer, and moderating today the prior year's Rookie of the Year, Mr. Jared Robertson, is going to be moderating today's session, today's panel discussion. And I will tell you that there are positive things happen for Rookies of the Year, that it has been consistent that Rookies of the Year end up being promoted to higher levels as MGA and beyond. And just as Jared Robertson has been promoted to MGA to kick off this year, you guys, I'm going to turn myself off because I'm excited to listen to all of you. Go for it. Let's give them a nice, warm round of applause for rookies. Let's go.
Let's go.
Outstanding. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, team. It's
Great
my
job, guys.
honor to interview both Kendall and Jennifer today for the Rookies of the Year, the co-winners. Both of them last year, obviously, and continue to just do amazing results. Our objective today is really just to find out and kind of uncover some of the keys that are to their success that we could share with the team for hopefully to help out those that are starting their journey, maybe those that are maybe hit a roadblock, and share some things that that shared their collective success that achieved this Rookie of the Year achievement for them. So before we begin, just one ground rule, because we have about 6 or 7 questions we're going to go through to interview both Kendall and Jennifer. 30 minutes or so. So if we can hold the questions to the end, please write them down. We'll open up for Q&A at the very end. And before we do that, let's just go ahead and begin. So let's dig in and get to know our Rookie of the Years. The first question is more so about them, So Kendall, we'll just start with you, my friend. So what is your greatest professional achievement and why?
That's a hard question, but an honest question. I don't believe I've hit that pinnacle. I think success comes in stages, and I think if I say what is my greatest, that limits me to go greater. So I think a biggest success challenge is for me is simply this: I left a $300,000 a year job to come here and start where I know I got to build it back up. But I chose to come out of comfort. So I think it's my faith and my belief in where I stand and what my goals are for my family. So I think my greatest achievement is stepping out of the boat. I truly believe I can walk on water. I just really do.
Outstanding. Great answer. Jennifer, how about yourself? What is your greatest professional or achievement that you had, and why?
So I'm probably going to be a little bit different in tact with this. It's always hard to go after Kendall. But for me, a lot of people look at professional achievement as the money that's come in, or the stature, are you a VP here? Are you a CEO? For me, it's been the growth of my staff. or the people that I have mentored or coached. I was a professor for many years. And so, in the classroom, when the light bulb goes off, for me, that's the key moment. And when I can promote people that have reported to me, and I know that's not the case here, it's more of a flat, but anytime I can help people achieve their goals, for me, that's the greatest achievement. That's what drives me. I too came over from, a job that was paying pretty well. But I wasn't feeling good when my head hit the pillow. And I tell that in my story when I'm meeting with, clients. I didn't feel like I was making the world a better place, except for, through growth, helping other people grow. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. It's about helping others and helping them to move to the next level.
Outstanding, Jennifer. Great answer. So the next question is more so around just mindset. One thing that I think that every successful team member or agent in this industry has is a very strong or a high performance mindset or a growth mindset. I think it all comes down to the root of the success is around that mindset. What personality traits should do you think, if you can give your honest feedback, what personality traits do you think that every agent should possess?
Jennifer, you can go first.
Love you, Kendall. Tenacity. You gotta be tenacious. And you've gotta be humble, definitely willing to learn. If you knew how many hours I've spent in a classroom, but if you see Stella presenting, I'm like this, with my, coachability. God, please don't reinvent the wheel. It's already been invented. But I think, yeah, those are the things that just scream at me.
Excellent. Kendall, and yourself?
I'll pick it back off of Jennifer. I just use a quick quote. I think there's a confidence you got to have and a balance of humbleness, right? I think there's a balance of both. So I say it this way. I'm humble enough to know that I'm replaceable, but I'm confident enough to know it would be a downgrade. So I think that's that balance you really have to look at in life. And so that focus, I think, helps keep everything on lock.
Excellent. Good answers to both of you. Now, as far as consistency, one thing that we always talk about is just being consistent in this industry, making sure you constantly have those results, and obviously you guys have been extremely consistent when you look at your performance for your first year, what you've been able to achieve with your collection of referrals, or whether it's just the overall families you've protected every single month. What are some of your successful habits that you use to become, to maintain that consistency? Let's just go to you this time, Kendall.
For me, it's relying on team. I think it takes a village. I think always listening to the higher ups. And when I say higher ups, Temeskin has been in my corner. He's been one of my biggest support mechanisms, whether it's personal, whether it's work, whatever, to have a comfort level with who you work with on a daily basis that help hold you accountable. And Stella has been phenomenal, right? And so when you have people on your team that you can look up to that have already charted that path, I think it forces you to be consistent because you have accountability.
Very good. Very good. And Jennifer, how about yourself, your success habits?
Yeah, my answer is going to be a little bit different. I mean, let me be very, very clear. It has not been, rainbows and unicorns. Okay. There has been times when I'm just like, what did you do? So I have relied on Chris Burkholder, who for me, and I've been around a while, people, I'm no youngster, is the best mentor boss I've ever had in my life, by far, hands down. Like, he is unbelievable and has pulled me up from drowning. You know what I mean? He grabs the back of my life jacket. I think, I don't even, it's so funny because I just put my head down and go. And so when sometimes I think I always think, not always, but a lot of the time I think, you're not even, what are you doing? You're not good. And then Chris will bring the numbers up and go, hello, you know what I mean? So it's just, I just put my head down and go. And one of the girls that works with me, Alyssa Rollo, who's the PR I brought in last year, same way. I mean, sometimes I don't even know where I stand. And I know Max would probably be like, what? But it's just put your head down and go. And when it knocks you down, get back up. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'm having a terrible week. I'm making tons of calls. Nobody's picking up. And I'm like, you know what, Jen? I look at my call report, by the way, that's like practically tattooed on me, my call report. So I'm all about the dials. And I'm like, just 50 more calls or 20 more calls. And then boom, I get like 3 appointments booked. Do you know what I mean? So it's just when it's not going well, then you gotta keep going. Yeah.
Great answer. And you've obviously proven to do so. Really good job, and great job using Merkholder as well. I agree, he's a superstar. Next question's around perseverance, which kind of we kind of segue really good into that. You know, Adriana, I know she's on her. She did an incredible job, last week in the session, just talking about using the iceberg as an example, talking about, sometimes people only see, look at Kendall, look at Jennifer, their success, they're killing it, they're smashing, but they don't see what contributed to that success. The no-shows, the miss-shows, the struggles, you know, I've had myself, I've had days where I blanked a week. I've had days where I had 10 missed sales in a row. I've had days where it's like, oh my God, people hanging up on me. But it's like you push through, and one quote that I put on here is that in order to succeed, your desire for success should be greater than your fear of failure. And I kind of live by that. And I'm really just curious for the two of you, like, how do you push through like your worst times when you're really struggling and it really kind of just at your worst, maybe situation? What is there things that you push through, or is there maybe an example of a time that you've had to push through? Let's go with you first, Kendall.
For me, I think push through for me, I think it's every individual is different. For me, it's a combination. It's family, it's my faith, it's even my personal things I want, right? So there's pictures I take when I'm having a hard week. I look at my family and I look at the goal. Like one of my goals is this year, my job is to retire my wife. I don't want her having to do what she does and deal with the nastiness on the phone that she deals with. She has a great career and all that, and she's done a great job, and she's my biggest fan. But at the end of the day, I want to ease that. So when I'm having a rough week, when I go those 12 prezos and nobody buys nothing, when I make 1,200 phone calls in a week and got two answers and they were totally trash. I look at that, I'll look at that and refocus on the goal. And then I'll look at my own personal goal. I have personal goals of things I like. I'm a car guy. So I look at my G-Wagon that I want. It's like that is still obtainable. And so I think you have to put personal plus my faith. I believe God's going to bring me through anything. I believe that truly seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added. So I keep God first in everything. So that's kind of my balance.
Very good. Very good. Jennifer, how about yourself? How do you push through those tough times?
Well, it's funny because in the beginning, I didn't lean on anyone, and I just went deep inside, and picked up the phone again and picked up the phone again and picked up the phone again. And I wish I had done that differently. That we have call sessions, we can go in there and, sometimes you'll hear something in there. But a lot of times I just put, I'm on the umbilical cord and it's back to Chris. I'm like, you know what? I can't do this. And he's like, really? Because let's look at the back numbers again. He does it all the time. Do you know what I mean? And he picks me up. I have my family, for sure. But, the reality of it is I came into this job looking for the residual income, right? This is my retirement plan. I don't have anybody supporting. I don't have a Kendall that, wants to take care of me. Okay. It's me. And so if you think that you're going to come in and it's going to be all, like I said, rainbows and unicorns, and then all of a sudden you're going to have 12, 15, by the way, I will have a minimum of 15,000 in 10 years. Mark my words, like, don't tell me no. Okay. But if you think that's going to be easy, then, it doesn't work that way. Go play the lottery. Do you know what I mean? So when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and you got to just make more dials. And do dials hurt? I don't know. Sometimes a little bit, but not really. So, yeah. That's it for me.
Absolutely great answer. I've shared this with the question came up with me previously too, and it's exactly what you're saying. A lot of times you get through those struggles of 10, 12 no's in a row, and it's kind of like, okay, and Stella taught me this. It's kind of like, what's next? Big deal. You're just one step closer to a yes, you're one step closer to protecting a family, you're one step closer to your goal. So it's having that mindset is important. Great job, great answers of both of you. Last couple of questions here. So just talking about hindsight reflection. So if you could kind of look back and say, okay, now there's about a year behind you. You've done some really great achievements, and to some of your standards, maybe you're not where you want to be, even though others were looking at, wow, that's some incredible achievements already. But if there is advice that you can give someone out there, maybe new agents coming, or maybe someone that's struggling right now, maybe they're in that rut, what would be something that you can kind of like share to help them with their success? Maybe any type of advice. We'll go to you, Jennifer, right now.
So I've had agents go through that, and I'm pretty sure I have one in there now. And I've heard it said before, don't give up before the dream, right? But the reality of it is I think that people feel like they're on a boat alone, and you are not on a boat alone. We are here rowing with you, and we want you to succeed. So a couple of things I did that I could have done differently that I wish people would do. The first thing is PRs. Hello. So easy. You meet like whatever you meet in your meeting in your when you're doing your prezos, like there are so many PR opportunities. I got a couple coming in from that. So that's number one. I thought, oh, let me just check it out first, see if I'm going to be successful. I'll wait. And I wished I hadn't done that. So that's the first thing. Get those PRs coming in right away. If you have friends, bring them in. It makes it so much better. I can't tell you, Alyssa and I were kind of in it together, and I just wished I'd brought her on a little bit sooner. It was just, and then the other thing is, when you're struggling with your mindset, how people, they're still like, society still kind of frowns on, asking for help.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You have to pick up the phone and call and just say, you know what I mean? I'm so frustrated. And it just plays back to Chris. If you called me at 4 a.m. and said, I'm thinking, that would be fine with me. I would be more than happy. So reach out for help was one thing that I didn't do in the beginning that I wish I'd done. PRs for sure, friends especially. But if meeting, and then just pick up the phone. More dials. So I'm going to say everything I say is going to be more dials. Everything.
Excellent advice. Very good. Kendall, how about yourself?
What I would have done different, obviously, hindsight is 2020. I think for me, it would have been to make sure that I had both feet in and out, one foot in and out. I think when you come in this, you have to look at the big picture. Just like Jennifer said, I don't have a retirement to that degree that satisfies me. So this is my retirement. This is what I have to focus on. So it's both feet in, and I would have focused on my next level of leadership and learned that. I think I missed an opportunity to where I could have linked on to Meskin and learn more about the GA spot. So that way I was more prepared to focus on. I think when you get to the next level, it isn't to stay focused on that level, it's to work at that level, but it's always to look at that next level and understand what that next level requires, because it gives you a drive to get to the next level, but it also allows you to remember where you were. And so I would have focused more on that. And like Jennifer said, I agree with her 100%. PRs. That's something I'm still fighting right now. I'm like, man, I got to get this together. I got to get these personal recruits and share an opportunity. What seems strange to share an opportunity with an Uber driver really isn't. Present an opportunity. If you care for somebody, you know this is a good company. Matter of fact, it's better than good. This is a great company, great organization, great leadership, and it's a great income and it's a great opportunity. And then why wouldn't you want to share it with somebody and give them the opportunity to say yes or no? So that's what I would have focused on more.
Great advice. Well said to both of you. Now, both of you are now in leadership, which, I think it transitions very well to this next question. John Maxwell he's got a really good quote that I put on here, that a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. And I think you two embody that. You're epitome of that success. Like you know the way, you show the way. Now, if you could give anyone, advice right now, like maybe someone that's on the team now, maybe just started, or maybe someone that's thinking about going into leadership, what advice would you give them to inspire them to be a leader? Let's go back to you, Jennifer.
Well, there's no, I don't know. I mean, it's either one choice or the other. You're either working with a team or you're just for personal producing. So the leadership, I wasn't going to go into leadership. I mean, I sat down with Mika and Sean and I said, no, I was a manager at banks for over 20 years and all they did was want more and screw people. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to manage. And it was funny because you remember my first answer was, what was your greatest achievement? Was helping my people grow. Right. So it was, and I know that Sean in that meeting immediately caught that. One of them did. And it was just like, well, there's a juxtaposition that doesn't, make any sense. If you want to help people grow, but you don't want to go into leadership. And then it took me a few months, because I'm a hardhead, to realize that here it's very different. If you perform, it doesn't matter. There's no competition within one another and nobody controls the purse strings but yourself. Right. So here, the opportunity to help someone grow and become is exponential, provided they're coachable. Right. So I think, and there are struggles in leadership. Make no mistake. You try to coach someone, they don't listen. You try to tell somebody, they don't listen. You know what I mean? And that was the hardest part for me, because when somebody leaves that you've coached, it's like, oh, I failed. And then it's like, well, hold on a minute. Did you? Right. So all you can do is your best. I mean, for me, and I think too, I think people will probably struggle with the ability, like, to say that they're not ready to be leaders. Maybe some of the younger ones that haven't managed before. Jump right on in with both feet and do it as quickly as you can. Move it on up. Get those personal recruits. And I got to tell you, it's just sharing what you know. And it's not like we're teaching our own replacement or anything. It's not like, you know what I mean? Because there's just so many leads out there, so much money to be made. Like, why wouldn't we want to share the wealth? Yeah.
Absolutely. Well said. Kendall, and yourself.
Yeah, I think leadership is like I think it's like Jennifer said, it's a challenge at times. Nothing's easy, right? Anything worth anything is going to take some challenge and some resistance and some determination and some rejection and all that comes with it, right? But I think for leadership, one of the reasons why I got in it is I had to get into leadership for me. I know my personality. If you let me go solo by myself, I'm gonna go rogue. I'm gonna create my own script. I'm gonna go sideways to try to prove that my way is better. And sometimes leadership forces you to stay in a box enough. It allows you to extend from the box, but it allows you to have that structure and that foundation. And I know I needed that. And then I also realized that in order to do that, the people that I would train and that I would lead, I would have to pour into them, because if they're not successful, then I'm not successful. If they fail, I fail. And I agree with Jennifer. You pour into people and it happens in leadership and they leave, they don't stay. But I've learned something. I've learned that at the end of the day, I have a gallon of information, but everybody doesn't have gallon capacity. So you only can pour. So when somebody leaves or they can't take it, then I have to realize they were pint sized. It doesn't take away from them, but at this stage in their life, that's their size. Maybe they were a quart. So my job was still to pour. And the good news, I'm pouring enough to where I still got leftovers. I got residuals, and I refill myself by Temeskin pouring into me and Stella pouring into me, and everybody in the company pouring each other. Like Jennifer said, there's no competition. You're competing against what's our slogan this year? It's you versus you, right? So yeah, so leadership is huge for me. I want to build a team of about 20 to 30 people minimum, and everybody successful, and just allow that chain to keep flowing. And so we're gonna make it happen. It's gonna happen. It's not an option. I don't have my mindset. I don't have option. There is no option B. This is the option. This is it.
Love the commitment. Outstanding. Is those 10 to 20 people going to be PRs? Love it. Love it. And team,
Kendall,
this is
you're
our
muted,
final
hon.
question.
Oh, yeah, that's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal. I definitely want to, Stella told me something not too long ago. She says the best thing in the world is to work with somebody that you can work with, somebody you have a relationship with, because then it becomes a deeper commitment, a deeper level of accountability, and a deeper level of challenge to each one of you to obtain your goals. So absolutely pushing for PR big time.
Love the advice. Thank you, Kendall. Thank you, Jennifer, for sharing that advice. And last question, it is about you versus you. That's our theme for this year. And we have found that pretty much every top performer has, something in common. It's always that drive to just aspire for more, not settle, accomplish more, to achieve more. So I would love to hear from each of you, what is your aspirational goals for this year to maybe be a better version of yourself? Let's go to you first, Jennifer.
Well, I have a lot to learn still. I do know that. But I think what are I want to grow my team, and I want to make it clear. I don't want to grow my team because I want to grow my paycheck. I mean, I know that comes along with it. I want to grow my team because it's fun and everybody can succeed. Do you know what I mean? So that's a huge one for me. I'd like, I'm trying to recruit more and more. But I'd like to have 5 or 6 at least on the end on my team by the end of the year. Just,
Great.
yeah. And so I'm going to encourage my team to recruit and all of that. So that's one thing. And then I think to just hone in and continue to improve my presentation, my training, just everything, always looking to try to improve and get better. My presentations are too long. I got to shorten those up and still get the point across. Yeah. And a lot of people say to me, you work so many hours. And I'm like, yeah, first of all, I love my job. So, you know what I mean? I'm meeting the coolest people all day. I just stumbled on a family. Oh my God, in Mesa, Arizona. I love them, all of them. And I've sold 3 so far and I'm meeting 2 more today. So it's fun. Yeah. I know that wasn't the answer to your question, but that came out. Sorry.
No, very good. That was really good response. Thank you, Jennifer. Let's go over you, Kendall. What are your aspirational goals? What are you focused on to be a better version of yourself?
Again, I'm piggybacking off Jennifer's growth, right? It's this. I think the day that you become uncoachable is the day that you lose. I truly believe that. I believe the day that you think you know it all is the day that you absolutely know absolutely nothing. And so I'm constantly trying to learn. I'm constantly trying to get better. And for me, my first goal, and goals shift, right? One of my first goals is shifted this morning. I have to whoop Alexi. I got whoop Lexi this week in March Madness. So that's my initial goal now. I have to beat him. Nobody else has done it yet. So I have to. So that's a goal. Lexi, get ready for me. But anyway, but the goal for the year is to build team. It is to get those PRs. It is to build a team of people that are being successful, that then they'll be on the screen and we'll be asking them questions and we'll be learning from them. The goal is to have about 15 to 20 mini-me's, but I got to be good enough to people to want to be a mini-me. So that's the goal.
Fast forward to the end of the year, there's no doubt that both of you will achieve those goals. So, one, I just want to thank you guys for your time today and congratulations again to the 2 of you being co-rookies of the year. Thank you for setting a great standard and inspiring everyone around you. Team, let's go ahead and open up for questions. We got about 6 minutes for questions. If you want to raise your hand and ask questions for either Kendall or Jennifer, please do so now.
I just want to say thank you to to Mika and Sean for this opportunity. And I want to say thank you to you, Jared, for moderating today and
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I want to say that too before everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. I don't take it lightly that you allow us to have a voice. I love Jennifer so much. I love just her tenacity. She's been my drive too. And I think we'll continue to cheer each other on and do what we need to do. But thanks from the top all the way down. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
You two are motivating and inspiring so many people. I hope you realize that. I don't know if people ever bring that up or say that or give you that feedback, but continue to be yourself and be great because you are motivating everyone around you. So great job.
Appreciate it.
Team, what questions we got out there? Any questions, anything or feedback, anything for Kendall or Jennifer?
Well, amazing. You guys are both amazing. And I look up to both of you so much. And I love always seeing your names up there and like the drive that you guys have. I do have a question about your schedules. What do your guys' schedules look like? I know, Jennifer, you said you work a lot, but are you working weekends? Or at what hours are you working? What does that look like for you guys?
You want to take this one, Ken, or you want me to?
I share mine first because I think it's going to be different, which is different, right? For me, and I don't have a problem sharing this. I'm a pastor, so Sundays, because of my faith, I do not do appointments. I just won't. That's my commitment to God. Saturdays, I do Saturdays here and there. But for me, I grind Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. up until 10 p.m., whatever it takes. And my goal is I have to push all of that because I don't have the option of Sunday. And that what helps increase my faith, that if I commit to that to God, he's going to give me favor Monday through Friday. And like I said, if I have a Saturday here or there, I will. That's for me personally. And I think everybody has to make their personal choice. Jennifer, go and tell them how many hours you work.
So I work until I have what I want done, and that's a problem. Okay. So, it's not uncommon for me to get burnout. It is not uncommon for Chris to have to rein me back in and say, it just 2 days ago, what day are you taking off this week, Jen? Well, I don't know yet, Chris. It depends on my ALP. If I don't have any ALP, I won't be taking any days off. Right. So, especially during push weeks. Right. But it is a balance. And I'm not very good at that balance. But it's typically I start at 9 and then I go till 9 or 10 at night. On my weekends, I maybe start at 9 or 10 and I'll go till 6 if the appointments, allow. But in all honesty, when you start your own business, I come from banking, right? So you start your own business, you don't see the light of day for 5 years. I don't know where these people get this idea that you can work 40 hours a week and grow your own business. That's like a pipe dream. Like, put your crack pipe down and buckle down and get to work, right? So the reality of it is, sorry, did I say, I shouldn't have said that. See, I told you no filter.
You said it, you're good. That's good.
So I'm looking at Mika going, uh-oh. Yeah, you got to work. I mean, and so I think a lot of people, and I wouldn't even say it's generational. I think too, Kendall and I are not spring chickens. We have other connections too. I think you probably have a lot of connections in your community. Hopefully that's helped you. I don't have that, but I have a lot of, ways to build rapport with people quickly because I've lived in a million places and, experienced different cultures or whatever. So we have a little bit of an advantage there. But the reality of it is we got to work our asses off. You got to work your butt off. If you want $10,000 to $15,000 of residual income, go to work.
Yep. Drop the mic, Jennifer. That was it.
Great responses. Deborah, let's go to you. I see your hand raised.
Unmute. I just had a question about, when you're saying making so many dials, that I find, when you're calling from your own phone, they get to know your number. How effective is it for you to use Google Voice? Because that slows me down so much in the number of dials I can make. But then again, it's kind of offset by the number of people that respond. So what is your system for getting people to pick up?
I mean, honestly, am I supposed to take this or you want to take it?
No, you good.
Okay. I have like so many leads. I don't I need a dialer again, but I can't use Google Voice. Like yesterday, I'm on the boat right now, and yesterday the internet was slow, and I was like, I can't make calls because it's like I'm watching the line go across, to save like whatever comment. I'm like, I can't. I gotta go. So I just keep moving, although I have gone back to old leads, right? But my Google, it slows me down, and I don't like that. I gotta go. So I haven't been using it. I do have 2 numbers because I have my old Connecticut number, which I've had for decades, but I only use my old Connecticut number for service work typically. So no, I don't use Google Voice. I just keep dialing.
Thanks.
Thank you, pretty lady.
For me, I use both. I use Google Voice. I use regular phone. I go whatever means necessary. I have a sideline on my phone. So but what I do, I don't keep switching back and forth every day. What I do is, I'll focus this week. And when I look at it and say, okay, I look at my notes, say I called those last week, and I'll put a little dot that, hey, I'll put an S on it and a note to know that I did that from my sideline. So now I know this week when I call them, I'm going to call from my regular phone or whatever. So I think you just have to get creative, and what works for you, work for you. And I think just be consistent, make as many dials as possible. Somebody's going to answer sooner or later.
Hey, thank you.
Great feedback. Who else?
Great question.
If you want to raise your hand and we can call on you. I can't see everyone, but if you raise your hand, we'll be able to see you on the screen up there. Any other questions out there? Nope. So
actually, I have a question. Hi, Jared. Hi, Kendall. Hi, Jennifer. Thank you so much. This was so inspiring. Kendall, love the paisley shirt. Love it.
Yes.
Looking sharp.
Thank you.
I think one thing, we all deal with no-shows. How do you deal with no-shows? And how do you decrease the amount of no-shows? Is there something you say on the phone? Is there something that you text? What are some pearls of wisdom?
For me, I simply, Temeskin always says, be a duck, let the water roll off your back like off a duck's back. It is what it is, move on to the next. But, we do have that end of the script thing when you set the appointment to let them know that, hey, because, of the business and, how busy we are, that, it's important that they show up because they can take somebody else's spot. And a lot of times I use the saying, I don't want to be out here and feel like a stood up date, and so, I'll say something like that to kind of make it, that way. And if they no show, then it is what it is and you move on. And that's
Right.
really what it has to be. You're going to have more no shows than you have shows typically. I mean, just to be honest, and it's okay. But I've had no shows that no showed me 2 or 3 times. All of a sudden that 5th time they showed up and I sold them. So it is what it is.
Right.
Everybody has lives, right? You don't know what anybody's going through because you don't have a personal relationship with them. You don't know if the emergency just happened. You don't know if they're going through a stressful thing in their life. So sometimes no shows aren't a disrespect to you. It's because you don't know them and their life may be going in a different direction at the time. So keep them in your leads, follow up, keep going.
That's good. Thank you.
Jennifer,
So
anything to
I usually I used to text every morning and now I call an hour before, right? And I after they no show me 2 or 3 times, I don't delete them, but I'm like, bah, I don't set a recall. You know what I mean? I gotta go. No shows can be very discouraging. No shows can be ahead, you know what? And I've, I think 2 weeks ago, I had 17 no shows before I finally got, I was like, and I was in, it's March Madness. It's like, what the heck? So it's just part of reality. And it's mind over matter. And that's where you pick up the phone and call Chris, umbilical cord.
And Ruki, the only thing I'd add to that is on the spot, same day, next day. I would focus 1,000,000% on the spot. That's 100% show rate. If you're booking them and they log on while you're on the phone with them and jump on Zoom, that's 100% show. Same day is about a 70% show rate. You book them, we're available tonight at 5. That's about a 7% show rate, and next day is about 50. Anything after that's a callback, in my opinion. I think if you apply all 3 of those, it would definitely increase your shows. Let's
Nice.
go to Kendall.
Thank you.
Let's go to Kendall. We can barely hear you, Kendall.
Kendall, we're having a hard time hearing you. Maybe Kendall, we're not able
Can
to
you hear me
you.
now?
Maybe type the question in.
Can you hear me
There we
now?
go.
Yeah,
Yes,
there you
we
go.
can hear you.
Okay, so what would it be for your different takes on the referrals? And how do you do your referrals and collect and get so many, even if they tell you they don't know anyone?
You want to go?
My answer is here's the funny thing, and I'll say this to anybody. I still go to referral crew every week. I've been here over a year and I still go because at the end of the day, you're never going to master it. I still go. I listen to T is still top in the company with referrals. So at the end of the day, he's still winning. So why am I going to start leaving this class because I had a week or 2 of success? I go every week. I don't schedule any appointments because at the end of the day, it's something that has to continually be developed, created, times change, new strategies, everybody input. So that's what I do.
For me, I don't stress about it. If they say you don't have anybody, I'm like, I gotta go. I just move on. I mean, I did a sale yesterday with no referral, right? I already had the whole family. So, or day before, whatever it was. So, I do try to pick up, like if I do the child safe kit, which I've been doing a lot of over in Arizona, I say, they are asking for minimum 5 families so that we can, and people usually, I got 14 the other day that way. You know what I mean? I know this person, you know what I mean? So I just always ask, I follow, I just do what Temeskin and Chris taught me to do. And I do go to referral crew. I pop in, I don't go every week, but I do pop in every now and then. And I'm still in the referral crew, they group me, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Great job. Over 12.
Referrals are my bread and butter, man.
Yeah.
Good job. Destiny, let's go to you next. What question do you have?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to say it's not actually a question, but Jennifer is actually so amazing. She says what she does. She does what she says. She does pick me up. She's the person I call, just like she calls Chris. I call Chris sometimes, but I call Jennifer and she's like, nope, get to dialing. She's like, you got to do it. So I just want to give her some praise. She's absolutely amazing. She works super hard. She's like literally the person like I'm like, okay, Jennifer, what's next? What do I need to change? And she's great. I just want to just give her that praise.
Shows the way, shows the way, teaches the way. Good stuff. Who's next? Any other questions? We're running out of time. It's 12:06. Mika, we got more questions or?
I don't see any specific other questions, but I'll tell you what. I mean, I know you guys aren't necessarily paying attention to all the chat, but the chat's blowing up, and I got texts blowing up of people saying that this is the best meeting they've ever gone to, and so I agree. I think it's good for, especially I'm looking at a lot of the new faces that are soaking this up, and to say that this is relatable. These are real people that just started just about a year ago and have just recently gone through everything that we're all experiencing. And that's the beauty of what we've got. So anybody that's new, anybody that's facing any obstacles, any challenges, the no-shows, the objections, it's how we overcome them. And to hear a lot of it is mindset, is the mindset and your approach to it. It's not always what we say, but it's how we say it, and it's how we approach the business. Where you got, I think Kendall said, yeah, I got 1 foot. I'm not just approaching this with 1 foot in. You got the both feet in there, and it's really it comes down to mindset. You are committed. You burnt the bridges. There's no plan B, and it's just inspirational to see what you've done, and also to see where you're going. Jennifer, I can relate that the joy is seeing other people succeed, and I could tell you that I'm going to thank you for all of you, and including Jared in that as well, for that, because it is inspirational to me as a leader as well, to be able to continue to strive and continue going forward. So I'm looking forward to see lots of success from all of you. Can we get a round of applause for them?
Can I say one more thing really quick?
Yep.
I think one thing that wasn't brought up is the team thing, right? So, I can pick up the phone and call Mika or Stella. I'm actually more afraid to call Stella than Mika, just so we're clear. But I can call Sean, and I have, and he gets right back to me. Jordan, I pick up the phone, Jordan's there. Jesus is there. Michaela is there. Like, you guys, I think I spent an awful lot of time talking about my umbilical cord with Chris, but I would venture to guess that Kendall, you can call Stella.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think please don't hesitate to pick up the phone and call anybody on your team. Like, if you're down and somebody doesn't answer, you know what I mean? Fine, pick another number. Sorry. I just wanted to say that because I don't think that team thing was brought up, and that's huge. I mean, huge.
Do we have one more question from Arnold? I know we're running
Yes.
into
Hello.
referral time, but
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Now, yeah, so my quick question basically was more say from a perspective, okay, for newer people as myself type of thing, because I don't have contact information for just like everybody no way of essence. What would be the simplest way to, okay, if I want to reach out to Chris, I want to reach out to Micah or whoever it may be type of thing, or either you just Jennifer type of thing, just for tips and like just whatever it may be, what would be the simplest way to just communicate with you guys?
Probably group me.
Yeah, or you can text me. You want my number? I text people all the time.
Okay,
yeah,
great.
but reach
Okay,
out and group me, and then we can send you our number. Yeah,
Exactly.
cool. Yeah, I'll get that situated set up because I don't think I have that just fully just yet. So I mean, if that's the way, then great.
Arnold,
Casper says we can direct.
Yeah, as you write business, Arnold, you'll meet more of your team. Then you're in the
Okay.
your team. It naturally kind of happens, and
Gotcha. Okay.
spreads.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I would just tell you guys this also: make sure you qualify for stuff. Qualify for the trips, because then you go and you get to have coffee or lunch or a drink with Kendall or Jennifer or Mika or Stella, all those things. And I would encourage anybody, I don't want Stella's phone to blow up, but yeah, have no hesitation calling Stella. I'd encourage people to get a coffee with Stella. Just be ready for your tastes to kind of, I'm like a coffee snob now, thanks to so your choice of coffee might change. Yes. But I was going to say, everybody, I think Mika and I can, we need to find a way to do a better job of this, but it's everybody coded in 2023. So just ask yourself, if your first sale was last year, Or like Arnold, who just jumped in, or Destiny, that's also fairly new. If your first sale is this year, 2024, those are the people we look at for this year's Rookie of the Year. Kendall and Jennifer, this is the first time we've ever had co-rookies of the year. And it's the first time the Rookie of the Year was chosen in the year they were coded. Normally, we're looking at the first full year, and that's the people that have typically been Rookie of the Year. I don't know if that makes sense. But the traditional rules that we follow, Rookie of the Year is the person that's first full year. So their first full, they were coded in 2023, 2024 is their first full year. So we're typically looking at the people in 2023, the prior year, that were coded to be the next Rookie of the Year. Can't say enough amazing things about Kendall and Jennifer. And also, Jared, thank you so much for moderating this. Guys, Jared put a lot of work into the questions and a lot of thought into that. And these guys met several times, emailed several times to prepare today's meeting for you. But for everybody on this call, if you just started last year or just started this year, you are eligible to be this year's Rookie of the Year. So push hard.
Who's it going to be? I like Keith just shouted it out even while I was just making that statement. I was going to say post it up there, and there he goes. He posted it up there. The question of group me, there is a full CV group me. I know there's a bunch of little group me's also for individual agencies. It's a
Pint-sized group
platform.
and they're called it.
But there is a full agency CV agency group me if you want on to that. If you're not on that with like, I don't know, 200 people, then we can get you on there as well. You're absolutely right with the team thing. And what I would say, that it is so exciting that, and we like to have this culture of a willingness to share, a willingness to help, and cross agency, cross offices. You hear a lot of environments in many organizations, many sales organizations, where you don't have that. It's a cutthroat, it's dog eat dog. And I'm so glad that you touched on that. So yes, we are all going to grow. There's enough to go around. We are all going to grow and continue to succeed and strive together as a whole, as an agency, as an organization. So thank you for pointing that out.